I'm 2 months into my 40 plus fashion creator journey, and this is my second monthly income update. So today, y'all, will talk about how much money, or if I've made money towards my 100K retirement catch up. Welcome back to the Style Catch Up, where I not only use fashion to look good, but also to catch up on retirement. So to give a very brief recap, I started this journey on May 31st. After thinking about it for a week, the idea came to me and I just started it right away. I reported June's income, which was zero. And now July has been my second month as a 40 plus female fashion creator. I've made several videos, maybe 10 or 11 on YouTube. And I'm here to report for the month of July, I made $0 again. I was expecting that I may not make money for a while. And one of the things I wanted to just demonstrate is that when you start a business, you may be operating at a loss for a little bit. I do want to emphasize that I believe that my story is actually the more traditional story and the more traditional journey. I don't think I'm the outlier. I actually think people who come on YouTube or social media and say I made money in a month, or I made money in 2 months, or I got money monetized in 1 or 2 months are the outliers. I don't think that is traditional for most people who are starting a content creator or a YouTube specific journey. So now that we know that for the month of July, I made $0 in creator income, let's talk about my expenses for the month. For software, I have my Canva subscription, and that is $18 a month. I actually did look at my Canva subscription to try and go yearly, but for some reason it wasn't allowing me to do that. I didn't have any other software costs beyond that. My largest expense is clothing, and I'm trying to have a healthy habit with clothing and clothing buying. For the month of July, I went on vacation, and so I did shop a little bit when I was on vacation. So for the month of July, I spent $511.13 on clothing and shoes. If I had to think about that, splitting it between this business and my real life, I'm doing something called a 50-50 split. For the business part of this, I spent $205.57 that I would attribute to business alone. And if y'all see my list here, there's really no need to talk about all the other categories because I didn't make any money, and those categories really won't matter until I start to make some money. So let's quickly touch on mindset and the realities of running a business emotionally and physically. So one of the things I noticed is that I need an organization system. I need it in quick. And I've been trying to set up one through Notion, but it becomes just one other thing that I have to do. What I'm finding about myself lately is that I get into a lot of busy work. And honestly, the busy work is the easiest part. So I recently checked myself about that. One of the busy things that I can get into is looking for outfits or trying to put outfits together. And of course I need to do that, and I need to be able to create, but it's not like a dedicated time. The other thing, y'all, is that I'm a huge researcher. I like to research stuff over and over and over, but that actually has become a procrastination thing for me. I recently caught that I was doing that over and over and over and asking a bunch of questions. And the thing about this business is I just have to work out the plan that I've established. And as I'm working this plan, pivot as I need to go. And one of the things I want to do is be prayerful about this business and stop running to the internet all the time about this business. And the other thing, y'all, was a huge realization for me is that I'm not dressing for the internet. And I know that might sound really simple, but when you're doing this type of business, you can fall into the trap of saying oh, I'm gonna buy this because I think it might look good, or I think my audience might like that. That is a trap. It will keep you on the hamster wheel of buying. And I that's not why I bought the stuff I bought. I bought that just because I liked it. I recognize okay, I was almost gonna, so for example, I have maybe 3 blazers, maybe 4, y'all. I'm doing smart casual fashion. I've never used that term in my real life. That's an internet term, and that's maybe a fashion phrase, but I don't talk like that when I'm getting dressed. I'm I'm getting dressed smart casually. Now I'll use that because for titles, I have to signal what like what the style is, but what I was doing was like thinking like, well, what does smart casual look like? And for me, it's like, oh, I need more blazers, or you can, like, blazers was one thing that I thought of specifically. So I was looking around for blazers, y'all. I was like, why are you doing that? And then I really checked myself and was like, but will you wear it? And how often, Shalonda, will you wear this blazer? Like, don't just buy a blazer because you think you should for the internet. And I was like, just own how you actually dress. And y'all, what I really love are cardigans. Baby, I'm the cardigan queen, okay? I used to call myself the duster duchess, okay? And so I'm like, lean into what you actually do. You will feel more authentic. It'll shine through in your videos, and you will have more ways to style them that make sense for your actual life because you actually want it and it's what you really truly wear. So let's talk about some things that went well for this brand this month. I created my content pillars and my themes. I knew like I had like my brand values, who my brand serves, but there was something sort of missing and I couldn't really figure out what it was. And then I figured out that I don't have any pillars or anything to kind of root what I do in. And I also have a very solidified brand values, and what this brand stands for and who it's meant to serve. So that was a really great feeling to bring that all together. The other thing, y'all, I realized was that I didn't have any goals for my brand. I know that sounds really weird. The 100K is the goal, but to get to the 100K, I was just like posting videos, but I didn't really have any sort of smaller steps lined out. And so this month I did write down some goals. I do have to flesh those out even more because they're not smart. What's making them not smart is that they don't have a date, but where they are written really well is that it's things that are within my control. Finally, y'all, let's talk about 3 things I'm doing to improve the business and the brand. The first one, y'all, is coming with a official schedule and organization method. That is one of the big things for me, y'all. Currently, it feels like I'm working on the brand every night, but really I'm doing a lot of busy work. And so I want to cut that out and have specific days and times where I'm working on specific things in the business. And I want to work on things that move the needle in the business, not just stuff that just feels like work, but really isn't work. The next one is that I am creating a website landing page for my business. This one is the most important thing that I can do for my business, and my intention was to do it at the end of June, and then I had some technical hiccups that were not my fault and it never happened, and then I haven't made the time to get back to it. That will happen this month in August. The last thing is that I'm going to make the business official. I'm not sitting on the fence with this. I'm not going to think that I won't continue with it. I'm going to stand on faith and I will make the business official. And so I'm really excited to be able to do that this month. So next month on September 13th at the next finance update, I'll be able to tell y'all how those 3 things that I'm working on, how they went. So this has been the second financial update for the Style Catch Up, and I will see y'all next month in the next one. Bye.